Not too long ago, I attended a GED graduation ceremony, and it was a very weird feeling knowing how easily I could have ended up having to receive my GED. For the majority of my life, until the past few years, I have always lived with my mom. It wasn't the best. We were always late and we would rarely go to school 5 days a week. If we hadn't been evicted and I wasn't forced to move in with my dad, there would have been a good chance I wouldn't be in high school at the moment. And like 800,000 other Arizonans, I would be without a high school diploma.
Well, when I was attending Continental, and I was about 5th grade, I developed liver failure. And I had to drop out. After I get my GED, I'd really love to go to college. I already have my goals set. I'm going to be spending at least 3 years at Pima, and then I'm going to attempt to go to Harvard to become a lawyer. To give an education to someone who needs it, it's one of the most important things you can do.
I am independent, I live by myself. I work, I pay my bills. I need a better job that pays more, and in order for me to get a better job and have a better future and a career, I need my GED.
Well, I would need my GED for what I do, because I would like to do Border Patrol, Customs, and I would like to go to college and do some criminal justice.
How has your life changed since you entered the Los Artes program?
A lot. I don't live with my mom anymore. I don't live with any of my family members. I live by myself, just me and my son, and it's taught me to be independent. It gives youth hope that they can, obtain their GED and have a future.
How has your life changed since you entered the Los Artes program?
It's changed a lot. I haven't been getting into any trouble. I've just been busy with school. Once I get a stable job, then I'm gonna end up going to school, and I wanna be an auto mechanic and work my way up from there. Probably own my own shop or something.
Adult education pays for itself. GED graduates earn $5,000 more per year on average.
The Los Artes overall, we try to teach a couple of things. One is we try to teach them how to be employable and how to get employability skills, but also to get a GED and get an education.
The focus that we have here is to have students the age 17 through 21 re-engage to get their GED and also work experience through our arts program. In order to enter the program, you have to at least function at a 5th grade level in reading, language, and math. By the time our students are completing program here, they are functioning at a 12th grade level, and they can do that in short a period of time as 32 weeks.
Last year, Arizona Governor Jan Brewer proposed a set of budget cuts that would effectively eliminate all funding for adult education.
On January 15th at El Pueblo Liberty, the first freestanding building built in this country for and by adult education students. On January 15th, we were celebrating the 10-year anniversary of El Pueblo Liberty. While we were celebrating that, while we were listening to student success stories, while policymakers were there clapping and listening to these great stories and celebrating that building, the governor was writing the proposal to eliminate adult education and GED testing. And so that Monday, after that great celebration, is when we heard about the governor's proposal to eliminate us.
What I'm concerned about is that she's cutting at probably the biggest core of the problem. A lot of people had to go back and get an education to get a GED, a lot of adults, because of the market and because jobs went away, and now the expectation is you have to have a high school diploma or a GED to be able to have employment. So I'm not sure what her thinking behind is. I'm going to cut a program that provides education so that people can be better prepared for the work enforcement.
Vic Williams says that Arizona's first priority is ensuring public safety, and its second priority is K through 12 education.
My name is Vic Williams. I'm state representative from Legislative District 26, which is Oro Valley, Marana, Flowing Wells area. I've been in office since 2008.
What do you think the future of the GED will be?
Well, it hasn't changed. The only difference right now is that the state government is unable to fund and supplement GED education for adults. The programs are still there, they're still available, it's just that the state government can't pay for them. 18-year-olds and older are going to have to pay their way at this point in time. The magnitude of these budget cuts meaning that we're going to have some reduction in K-12 education. Everything after that is negotiable.
Is it true that you received the GED? What was your experience with the program like?
Yes, I was a GED recipient. I earned mine when I was about 22 years old. And quite frankly, that was about a quarter century ago, and I don't really remember.
Where would you be without your GED?
Where would I be without my GED? That's hard to say, but I can tell you this, even with my GED and lack of, let's say, formal education, it was very difficult on me up until about 30, 32 years old, until I started to have success in my business. And, you know, education's key. We need to focus in on education, and right now with our limited dollars in government, we want to ensure that we have our children at the K-12 level well funded.
Regina Suit notes that times are tough and other programs are asking for money as well.
The short-sightedness of that thinking is that if they want to build the economy, if they want to build taxpayers, if they want to make Arizona better, if they want to put more money into sales tax and more money into property tax, people have to buy homes, people have to have jobs, people have to buy things. How can they do any of that if they don't have a job? And if they don't have a GED, they can't get a job.
Realizing the whole state of Arizona, not just Tucson, needed to be aware of adult education, they rallied all programs to meet at the Capitol.
After being introduced where hundreds of GED advocates stood up, total surprise, Senator Carolyn Allen stood up on the floor and said, I want you all to know that I have my GED. It hangs on my wall, and this is a very important program.
Students and advocates actually flooded into the Senate while they were in session.
People had driven all the way from Douglas, they had driven from Nogales, and they had driven from Yavapai County, from all over the state, and they converged there, and there were students who spoke, probably about 7 different students from around the state, spoke about how important adult education had been to transform their lives as parents, as workers, and as community members.
I could tell that the GED graduates deserved the second chance they got, as well as the diploma that they received. Instead of ending the story with my story, I'd like you to hear their graduation speeches.
I was tired of the fast food jobs and working for minimum wage. I wanted better for me. I want to be a veterinarian and help animals. Besides, this was my first stepping stones to my dreams.
I think I speak for the whole class when I say that we've got better things to look forward to now that we've received our GEDs. Without my GED, I wouldn't have the opportunity to move on to college.
I want to thank everybody. I have so much support. I see my PO and everybody over there. Thank you for being here.
I sometimes tended to follow the crowd, and the circus made me realize that if I wanted to succeed in life, I may have to sacrifice some of the people I hung out with and some of the things I did.
I especially want to thank my mom. You put up with me and never, not once, did you give up on me.
There was a lot of times where I didn't want to go anymore, and John was the only one pushing me to still keep going. With the math test and with the science test, I did not think I was going to pass, and without John, I don't think I would have. I'd like to thank Michael Gates. Without him, I might have been in a little bit more trouble at the school. And I'd like to thank all the classmates for helping me through.
By the first day of my freshman year, I knew that high school was not a place for me and dropped out. I tried so hard to stay caught up by taking online classes, but I was going nowhere fast. I quickly became a senior with freshman credit. I also became lazy and disappointed in myself, but my mom never gave up on me. Neither did any of my closest friends or family. Mom, thank you so much for letting me make all the mistakes it took for me to figure out who I want to be, who I am, and who I will become. Big thank you to my classmates. We did it, you guys. You've become like a family to me. Congratulations.